Now, of course, we all know you started more with with NBA, but you're getting into NFL now. This is your second year. Thursday night football. What do you think is like? I watch all the interviews. I'm a big fan of all your interviews.
Thank
When I
you.
started interviewing like 2 years ago, I watch your interviews a lot. I take notes from it. What's something
Thank
that
you.
is different between interviewing NFL players and NBA players?
That's a really good question. I think that in the NBA, there is a large focus on like the individuality of each person. So those interviews tend to be a bit more personal, a bit more about who you are, a bit more about your off the court life, which is really nice. I think that with the NFL, because it is such this massive sport, we care so deeply about what's happening in between those lines. I think that the NFL interviews tend to have more of a focus on the game, what is happening.
Right.
So it's nice to flex two different muscles and focus on two different things, and also just see the difference in personnel around both leagues. Like they're both really fun and I enjoy both, but they're absolutely different for sure.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. I've been doing like coverage for like this is like my third season doing the Chicago Bears. It's about to get my third season covering the Clippers. And one thing I've noticed too is like you brought up like how different it is like the preparation too. Like of course it's only one game a week, but I just came back from Bears camp today and it's like they're so like in tune with it. Was that something like you
Mhm.
noticed like from I know when you do your interview, step off of the facility, it's like a little bit more like kind of keyed in a little bit.
Yeah, like when I think about the features that I did last year, the ones with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley ended up sort of being my favorites because we got to be out of the facility. You got to see an incredibly personal side of them. I was able to mix some of those like NBA ethos with this NFL feature, seeing what they're like outside of their sport. So at Jalen, we went to a restaurant he really loves in Philly called Food Chasers. We got to interact with the people that were at the restaurant. We got to cook in the kitchen. It was a fun piece for him. With Saquon, he let us into his home. We did it in his living room. We saw how he lives, what he thinks about things. So those type of features I tend to be drawn to, and something I'm really trying to push myself with this season is doing more different environments, different settings. Can we get people out of how we see them and see it a little different? So that's what I hope to do in season 2 with TNF.
Definitely. I say like is Jalen Hurts your favorite interview all time? Like, what's your favorite of all time if it isn't Jalen Hurts?
I don't know if I have a favorite interview of all time. And I sort of like that I don't, because I think when that interview happens, I'll know it.
Okay.
And that means that at some point in the future, I'm going to say, that was it.
That's
And obviously, I want to make every single interview the absolute best that it can. I love nothing more than that feeling of sitting down with somebody and talking to them and making them feel understood. So I certainly have ones that I love, but I like having that chase for the favorite. And I don't know if I have just a clear favorite yet, but
Okay.
hopefully it'll come.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice tray, go for trade. Yeah, we